yourself on a plane ride straight to China to compete for $500,000, then you've got to tighten up on Space City. And we know how difficult this can be when you think about some of those semi-regional finals that we were witnessing just last weekend in terms of those decoding stations. A lot of people love heading over to dormitory building, and it is not fun. If you're kind of waiting after kind of hitting the decode station, you anchor on down. There's multiple passageways that we see teams take from that side of things. But I've also seen people get there early, camp it out, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, I really expect to see a lot of recon operators in this one. You've got to have information in your hands. You don't fall into that trap in game 3 if you have some information gathering tools at your disposal. That team got obliterated by the setup from Perry. Here's a look, by the way, at the operator selects that are left. See several operators off the table going into game 4. Tiff, talk to me about what you're seeing. Any key factors? I mean, the one thing I'm noticing, Perry is the only team yet to use Suniva. There is not going to be a Suniva operator left on this map except Perry.
So here's the deal. And if they bring in a Suniva and they know that no one else has Suniva available, then that just kind of puts the bullseye straight onto Perry. You say, I know exactly where that team is. And if they're working towards taking them out and trying to maximize their value to leapfrog over them and play for second, then that's exactly what you've got to do. Take Perry down. But if you want to make sure that you have a fighting chance in this, get the Mandel Brick. Do not let Lageron Silates end this here in the 4th map.
Here we go. First time on Space City. We're playing Space City till the tourney's over. It could be this map. It could be map 6. As per the usual, only time will tell. Lagerants, the world is their oyster. They have the advantage. They can play for this brick, or they could choose to play spoiler. Whatever they decide to do, it doesn't matter. If they win this map, they win it all. Here we go. We can see the spawn points. Look at the right-hand side of your screen on the map view. We see Mandel Brick Addiction getting really active already, scooting down towards this Mandel Brick, trying to play kind of this northeastern building at test range before moving up towards the middle of the map to pick up this brick. And Fallen also posturing for the middle of the map. Restaurants on your screen playing nice and slow on the eastern seaboard, if you will. Potentially holding Perry. Top 2 teams could fight yet again, not even around the brick.
That's interesting. And if you've got the spawn, no game, no life over by dormitory building, this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Because you have the opportunity to get there through the employee passage or Westgate, right? And if knowing that when we see Fallen or Mandel Brick Addicts, whoever grabs that, usually they decide to go dormitory building. Of course, Black Chamber is much closer, but it's typically going to be easily accessed by all the people on that eastern side of the map. So I think people do favor that dormitory building decode station, and honestly, I would love, I said that, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight over this Mandel Brick for sure. Restaurant's playing extremely slow here. They have not moved once. Well, Mandel Brick Addiction on your screen and Fallen on your screen are the ones posturing for the Mandel Brick, like I said. Central Command is YJK should they choose to take it. Everybody playing extremely slow right now. Reminder, I'm going to keep saying this because I swear you're going to get jump scared by it. Star Baxter has the AWM on this map. They're going to be playing some of these long sight lines. Watch out for that sniper.
I'm ready. I'm watching out for it. I'm loving it. But we do have some time before that Mandel Brick does spawn there. We'll see who's going to be the first person to go ahead and grab it. I respect the patience from Lageron de Lattes. They don't have to be the first person to grab the Mandel Brick. They just have to be ready to steal it. Now, there was a ton of Lunas left when we were looking at that operator selection and what had been already used. So, of course, bringing those into the mix. You've got Nox now locking into the Stinger. You have a Smoke that's going to be there. They're bringing in an Engineer as well that's going to have a lot of those traps, those frag grenades. And you come on over to Mandel Brick Addiction and look what they've got. A nice setup. Bringing in the Luna as well. You've got the detection arrow. You can constantly hit those lineups and make sure you gather all the info so that you can capitalize on this.
5 seconds left on this Mandel Brick being able to be grabbed. There it is. Mandel Brick spotted. You can grab it. Let's see if anybody makes an early move towards it. Fallen, I believe, has an angle to look at it right now. Well, Mandel Brick Addicts are maybe the first one's going to be moving towards it. Here's the first look. Yes, there is an angle, and they know it. Fallen spotted on the other side. So we're going to back off and potentially approach this fight from a different angle altogether. Don't want to trade out of life when we don't have to. We're not really up against the clock at all. We just got started. And because of that, we watched them back off. Fallen has grabbed the mantle brick and already swung back to the facility. We always talk about the quad area, the middle of this Space City map. Basically 4 buildings. You get each of the 4 corners in this quad that you can play from. But right now, Nox about to place. Are you kidding me? There's no way. Nox prone inside of this shack, trades out 1. Unfortunately, can't get a second, and Zap is just a hair too late to the fight. So it is going to be a 2v2. A couple well-placed nades could change things. And nope, just well-placed shots. Vlad from a distance finds another. It's going to be a 2v1. Perry back against the wall. Their main competition in trouble. Les Durants about to take down the team in second place. About to send Perry back to the lobby if they win this 2v1.
Something about Perry and a mantle brick round just cannot get things moving. They are going to be your first team out of here. And Les Durants de la Teste, they are going to get that regain. And that is perfectly done for what they need. But you have to start thinking about it this way. When Fallen has already decided to maybe work towards that decoding station, where did they choose to go? That is where you have to keep tabs on, because we do have No Game, No Life that's been situated over at Dormitory. They never left. And I don't believe it went there.
Oh, this is such a big win for Les Durants. Fallen, of course, they've already started the decoding, like you just mentioned. I mean, they are on the mantle brick. They're already decoding it. They've set up for this. But that fight feels almost more important just because that's the team that already has a mantle brick. Now, if they want to, they can come play for this and potentially try to win. It doesn't look like they're moving right now. So Fallen is going to play setup, and it's still going to be the mantle brick addicts that are trying to play this fight. All 3 together as one. I like this push from them. They're able to swing up together. As long as they don't line up for Fleric, who has 1v3'd. Should be able to pick him off and make it a 3v2 on top of the brick. 2 minutes on the clock.
Nah, he's ready for war at this point. Like, we are going to get into it. And this is one of those angles that we were witnessing through a lot of our competitions. First kind of spawning in the Delta Force globally. You got frags. They're kind of looking to open the fight. Fleric takes a bit of damage and is forced to back on out. But one thing that you can do is start investing more of those frag grenades to really section it out. Now, if they know he's there, they're going to try and assume where he's going to go to reposition. But Fallen's going to give that info to his teammates and be like, hey, I'm going to need your help here. I know we're decoding. I know there's about 1:40 left. But we're about to be sieged.
This is big. It's like Les Durants. They're picking up that Lapua ammo that was not in a safe box, it looks like, off screen. But this is what we care about. Mana Brick addicts have made their way to the Mana Brick. They've stolen the Mana Brick and reset the timer to 3.5 minutes. Not make or break, but it does give us a little bit more time on the clock to play for. As they're burning and running, they're going to back all the way off. Likely going to be a re-steal here from Fallen if they are bold enough to make a play for it.
All good, though. They can keep transferring it back and forth. You even have NGNL that's starting to lurk down there. You can see them kind of opening their pathway into this, right? We have to crawl up that walkway past the truck to get into it. But Fallen has not extended out to look for the steal. Would love to see that happen, but here's the deal. At least we do have the gold armor, the gold helm, gold ammo. So not only does Mantle Brick Addiction have that, but they also have that on Fallen. So a relatively even matchup in terms of the fight. But what is No Game, No Life gonna bring?
For now, they're gonna bring patience. They're playing the outside of this quad. Quad that I'm talking about is Black Chamber, facility, all these 4 buildings in the area. Traditionally, we see teams kind of hold down a building a piece. That's what we're seeing right now. Mana Brick Addiction, Northwest, Fallen Southwest, YJK Northeast in this quad, all connected. It's Mantle Brick Addiction with the brick currently. They just don't have eyes on it. It's a very interesting decoding station that we've seen time and time again in these competitions. There's Fallen going in for the steal. They'll get it for free. It's going to be reset here to 3 minutes on the clock. There it is. It's such an interesting decoding station because it's technically out in the open between all 4 of these buildings, but on the technical west side, if you will, of the quad. So it's usually these 2 buildings when you're seeing Mantle Break Addiction and Fallen take over that just kind of trade back and forth, stealing the brick. As per the usual, we do see our boss on the map finding the better of a player. Sure, they'll get the revive on that. Don't worry. Laser Aunts maybe losing a player for now. They'll get picked back up. The sniper on this map is a little bit menacing.
It really do be like that. Look, last time we saw someone got taken out by the crocodile. So like anything can happen here on the main broadcast. But for now, we're looking towards that next steal with just 2 minutes left on the decode. And every team in the lobby is starting to descend on the decoding station. Aside from Legerons du La Test, they're the ones that are just going to get that revive up on Nox, who is the teammate that fell from the boss. They'll be a little delayed maybe on this push here, but time is of the essence, right? We're at that halfway mark. So this is where we're going to have to start getting into it.
Yeah, it's got to be extremely frustrating if you're Perry to just have to sit the sidelines and watch this encounter. But here we go. Mantle Break Addiction gonna go for this steal again. They smoke the point. Fallen does have an angle from the doorway, and you've in trouble. No. A well-placed incendiary is gonna burn him down, and they didn't get the steal, and that's actually a full. That is extremely fortunate if you're Fallen, using all of your resources to protect this one. Now, Mantle Break Addiction does steal it back. It's gonna reset to 2.5. It's gonna go down 30 seconds every time, and Fallen wiping Mantle Brick Addiction. They may have the decode for now, but a trading of blows goes to the side of Fallen as No Game No Life comes in for the third party. Unfortunately, there isn't really a third party to be had. There's just 4 parties now with YJK getting into it. This is a wild fight.
It's just going to keep on going back and forth like this. YJK, of course, you got your Luna, you got your detection arrows, so you can find that information, but we're just lobbing these frag grenades straight over towards YJK, and we're waiting for the cooldown on our incendiaries to be back up and available to use. And No Game No Life, they really can't get into this corridor towards the decoding station until we see maybe YJK dealt with. But as soon as this happens, this is allowing Fallen to kind of just back off into the building, maybe hit a regain before they decide to come on out. Because right now, Mantle Brick Addicts are the one that are going to basically be waiting for the decoding. But they're down. They're out of this lobby, and it doesn't matter. It would not count if they were able to finish decoding it. So someone has to steal it back.
Yeah, somebody's got to steal it back, or it's off the map and no one will get it. It's actually a really good shout. No Game, No Life. They may be new to this format. They're actually the only team that is new to this format. They qualified through a different format, but they're coming in and getting into the mix. They've actually made it through the smoke for the steal. Someone will get this brick most likely. I don't know if it'll be No Game, No Life or one of these other teams, but YJK trying to get into the mix, trying to play it more aggressive. They play up near the decoding station now. Fallen doesn't have an angle to overlook on this because they're getting held out this door by No Game, No Life. Unfortunately, it looks like No Game, No Life, they've lost a player. We could see a swing here. But a nice hold so far.
Well, you see a steal right there from YJK. Set the timer to 1 minute and 30, and what they've done is they've moved on up, and they are just playing for No Game, No Life. If it's a 3v2 in this, you just have to keep tabs on making sure Fallen isn't going to jump out of the building, and look at how quickly they dealt with NGNL. Brilliantly done by them, but now, next matter of business, Fallen.
No Game, No Life, unfortunately out of this lobby, and unfortunately Fallen comes in to play cleanup. Third party galore. Fallen yet again with another team wipe. A massive moment for them as they steal back the brick, and all of the sudden this lobby went from full to empty. Fallen all alive. Their only competition is the team that could end this tournament. Legerons, they don't have a lot of time. I don't even know if they're going to move this way or not. But if they do, it'll be a 3v3 for the tourney. A fight that Fallen has to win.
Why do I feel like they're not even worried about it?
Yeah.
I think that they're going to do the extract and get on out of here. Respectable, because they do have a lot of assets that they were able to obtain through this map. So they're kind of hedging their bets, because if you think about it this way, Fallen, with that decode that'll happen in less than 50 seconds, how much asset value did they have coming into this? Because now that there's two different teams with the potential for Mandel bricks, you have to make sure that that kind of total asset value aside from Mandel bricks is high enough to get you into the top 2, because there's still 2 Mandel bricks on the board after this.
This is a very interesting strategy. Obviously a huge boon if you're Fallen. Winning that fight, playing patient, staying inside when the battle ensues, and then peekabooing out the door to wipe YJK. Perfectly executed from Fallen, and a tall task, frankly, to do so. There were so many teams converging on your point, and they played it perfectly to get the brick and join this team, Legérance, at the top of the leaderboard. Fallen, your second team to get a Mandel brick, a team that will assuredly be in the top 2 because of it. Legérance, I think it's a good way to put it, hedging their bets. They're essentially saying, hey, we don't need to risk the tournament because we're playing for top 2. If there was only 1 spot to land, maybe we push for that. But since there's 2 spots to land, and we've already potentially got a spot near the top of the leaderboard, let's play for more loot value, just in case another team picks up a brick in some of the final rounds. They don't surpass us. I like this play from them.
I do too, honestly. Things are just starting to get heated up here in the regional finals, and I cannot believe that we are working through our Delta Force Invitational Qualifiers. We are so close to LAN. It is insane, and our teams are working their way ever so closely. Mandel brick by Mandel brick, but man, Perry sitting back and watching this, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, brutal map for Perry. A brutal map for, frankly, everybody. I mean, look at that. After all that work, YJK end up with nothing in this map. Sure, they'll get some map compensation, some losers compensation, some kills compensation. They do pick up several kills. But still got to be so frustrating. Mandel brick addiction. Played it pretty well as well. They were the ones, you know, this time, unfortunately, says a lot. Fortune favors the bold. Not this time. They're the ones that planted this Mandel brick originally and get punished for it, unfortunately. Everybody chooses this decoding station because it's very close to where you pick up the Mandel brick, frankly. And the other one's not too much better, but this one is so difficult. Like, feels like a coin flip because it's out in the open like this.
Love that we're just kind of maximizing what we can use. Now, I was thinking about it this way. We know Perry brought in the AWM, right? Does that mean Legérance did the test? Not only did they find all these asset values, they got some kills when they initially took down Perry, but they probably were able to pilfer that and are just focusing on getting that on out and playing with it on the next game.
It's exactly right. We saw that Lapu ammo. We will see them all get out via the rocket. They're going to head out of this map nice and quick. And wow, okay. We got some great assets. We're picking up reds in the rocket storage pod. Come on. So far, so good for this team. Some nice loot value there. We'll see this team get out via the rocket. Congrats to this team. I mean, they're getting out on just this map alone 9 million, by the way. There's a reason they're playing for this extract. And with the AWM, that definitely came into the equation for why they're doing what they're doing right now.
Pew pew.
Trying to conserve all the resources, take down the machine gunner with as few bullets as possible, but they're going to get out via the rocket. Their opponents, Fallen, trying to get out as well, but these two teams, absolutely the teams at the top. Fallen getting the Mandel brick, Legérance getting a lot of loot, an AWM, some ammo for it. They're gonna have a nice advantage going into the next round. See you later. Out of the map. 2 minutes on the clock for Fallen to get out as well.
See where they're going to be heading on over towards in terms of their extract point. You can see it's just ahead of them. No two worries here for Fallen. A sizable game for them. Not only do you get the Mandel brick, but you got about 8 million in assets obtained.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of looting, what, 80% of the lobby? I mean, they basically looted, you know, whatever 4 times 3 is, 12 boxes.
There you go.
We're able to put it all together.
Doge.
There you go. Yeah, obviously did really good job. They don't know that they're the only team left, technically. They think maybe Legérance could be camping this, so they're going to play this nice and slow. But overall, I think just to kind of recap this map, was really impressed with Fallen's patience. I say that often. I think Operations sometimes gets the knack for like, oh, they play so slow. No, they're playing strategic. And Fallen played it slow and strategic. Welcome back to the Delta Force Invitational Qualifiers EU Regional Finals, and it's been a banger thus far and a nearly even map on paper. This is our match 4 leaderboard between Fallen and Legérance. I will say though, that Mantle Brick coming in clutch for Fallen to jump frog, leapfrog over the top of Perry, who had a brutal map, losing out on almost 3 million from their early untimely deaths.
Yeah, that's not what they were expecting, but this is kind of that ebb and flow that we've been witnessing from Perry. There are still 2 opportunities for them to make it and kind of really tighten up on this, but to have both Mantle Brick matches that we've had thus far just go out like this, it's difficult. Same with Mantle Brick Addiction, right? They knew exactly what they were doing. They were putting up a nice fight. They even hit some steals on that decode, but it cost them 2.2 mil. And now you have to see, okay, what do we have in terms of our loadout? How much do we have to play for? Because we basically have 2 more chances to secure our ticket to LAN.
Yeah, 2 more chances, maybe, right? Could be over here in the next one. But here's the look at our overall leaderboard, and good grief, Fallen has made a gigantic jump. 26 million in total assets, plus a Mantle Brick. It actually puts Legérance as the team that could potentially get knocked out pending this next one. Obviously, if Perry picks up the Mantle Brick with a 10 million plus, could jump them. This is so insanely close. And I think if I'm Legérance, I think what they did last map was a good thing. I think it was the right play. I think it's the safer play. But I wonder, Tiff, I mean, pending how these next 2 games go, they could be looking back on this broadcast and going, oh man, what if we just would have played for that Mantle Brick in a 3v3?
There's always a what if, right? That is what I'm saying. If there's that what if, we have the potential for 2 matches, but we're not guaranteed that. Fallen from semifinals A last weekend, they were a team that got 2 Mantle Bricks that shut it down. And this performance that we're already witnessing from them, I would say is better, right? I think they were able to end the semi-regional finals with about 15 million, just under, maybe like 14.9, right? And 2 Mantle Bricks. We're at 1 Mantle Brick with 26 mil. So this is pretty flawless. Legérance Elitez, you can never count them out. We've seen some crazy holds out of them in terms